Welcome to online classes. I am in third recording for the story The Tiger in the Tunnel. Before starting the third recording of the story, just I will read from the previous two sentences. Having done this, he walked quickly down the tunnel, swinging his own lamp so that the shadows leaped up and down the soot-stained wall, and having made sure that the line was clear, he returned to the entrance and sat down to wait for the mail train. The train was late. Up to this, it was in second lecture. Now, third lecture will start. Sitting, huddled up, almost dozing, he soon forgot his surroundings and began to nod. A low groan resounded from the top of the cutting. In a second, Baldev was awake, all his senses alert. Only a tiger could emit such a sound. There was no shelter for Baldev, but he grasped his axe firmly and tensed his body, trying to make out the direction from which the animal was approaching. For some time, there was only silence. Even the usual jungle noises seemed to have ceased altogether. Then a thump and the rattle of small stones announced that the tiger has sprang into the cutting. Baldev, listening as he had never listed before, wondered if it was making for the tunnel or the opposite direction, the direction of the herd in which Tembu would be lying unprotected. Before a minute had passed, he made out the huge body of a tiger trotting steadily towards him. Its eyes shone a brilliant green in the light from the signal lamp. Flight was useless, for in the dark the tiger would be more sure-footed than Baldev and would soon be upon him from behind. Baldev stood with his back to the signal post, motionless, staring at the great brute moving rapidly towards him. The tiger, used to the ways of man, for it had been preying on them for years, came on fearlessly and with a quick run and a snarl strike out with its right paw, expecting to blow over this puny man who dared stand in the way. Baldev, however, was ready. With a marvelously agile leap, he avoided the paw and brought his axe down on the animal's shoulder. The tiger gave a roar and attempted to close in. Again Baldev drove his axe, caught the tiger on the shoulder, almost severing the leg. To make matters worse, the axe remained stuck into the bone, and the Baldev was left without a weapon. The tiger, roaring with pain, now sprang upon Baldev, bringing him down and then tearing at his broken body. It was all over in a sharp few minutes. Baldev was conscious, only a shearing pain down his back, and there was blackness, and the night closed in on him forever. The tiger drew up and sat down, licking his wounded leg, brooding even now and then with agony. He did not notice the faint rumble that shook the earth, followed by the distant puffing of an engine steadily climbing. The overland mail was approaching through the trees beyond the cutting. As the train advanced, the glow of the furnace could be seen, and the showers of sparks fell like Diwali lights over the forest. As the train entered the cutting, the engine whistled once, loud and piercingly. The tiger raised his head, then slowly got to his feet. He found himself trapped like man. Flight along the cutting was impossible. He entered the tunnel, running as fast as his wounded leg would carry him, and then with a roar and a shower of sparks, the train entered. The train came out into the open. On the other side, silence returned once more to the forest and the tunnel. At the next station, the driver slowed down and stopped his train to water the engine. He got down to stretch his legs and decided to examine the headlamps. He received the surprise of his life, for just above the cowcatcher lay the major portion of the tiger, cut in half by the engine. There was considerable excitement and conjuncture at the station, but back at the cutting there was no sound except for the sobs of the boy as he sat beside the body of his father. He sat there a long time, unafraid of the darkness, guarding the body from jackals and hyenas, until the first faint light of dawn brought with it the arrival of the relief watchman. Tembu and his sister and mother was plagued in grief for 2 whole days, but life had to go on, and a living had to be made, and all the responsibility now fell on Tembu. 3 nights later, he was at the cutting, lightening the signal lamp for the overland mail. He sat in the darkness to wait for the train and sang softly to himself. There was nothing to be afraid of. His father had killed the tiger. The forest gods were pleased, and besides, he had the axe with him, his father axe, and he knew to use it. Now it is a complete story already given you. Read in front of you, so that you can understand the story, and also you try to make the summary from your own. Thank you very much.